So we got a surprise for y'all. I'm gonna wait for everybody to roll on in. Hold on. Let's see. Let me cheat a little bit.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going on over here and let everybody know. So what am I doing?
I'm trying to get this green screen thing. That's fun.
You are hilarious.
Oh my god.
So I'm putting out an announcement right now for everybody that is on my IG. Hey, okay, y'all, we're ready to do the Sinners review. So come on over, meet us on YouTube. I had to let you know we're on YouTube live right now. I got Monica Blair with me. I want to introduce you to the incomparable, the wonderful Monica Blair, better known as MB the Light. So y'all get your ass over here and come see us on YouTube. See you in a second. Bye bye.
Hey.
Yeah.
Folks
Folks in the live.
Okay, wait a minute. They're gonna force me to do at least a minute over here. Listen, Instagram, you got too many rules. Bye. All right. Hey, y'all. I see y'all coming in. I see y'all coming in. All right. So we got MB the Light here, Monica Blair. I want her to introduce herself so that y'all can get to know her. This is from the other side of my life, y'all. She knows me as Manny when I used to manage artists, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
y'all
for
get to
sure.
take a peek into the other side of my life when I was working as music exec behind the scenes. Tell them all about yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so my name is Monica Blair.
I like
I
to
like
sing.
to sing the tunes.
I like
I
to
like
write
to
the
write the
jams.
jams.
I've been
I've been
doing
doing
so.
so.
Said it's echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Hold on. I think it's because we're sitting over here close to
Thank
each
you for
other.
letting us
That's
know.
no
Vintage
vintage
love.
love 28.
Hold on.
Because I
Cause
thought it
I
was.
thought it was just me.
Now let's see if I can cheat right quick.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think if you isolated it hits different.
Yeah, we about to see.
you hit that thing differently.
Hold on, y'all. We had a long day today. No, you will not start playing music from my other phone.
That's hilarious.
Well, you go ahead and talk to him, and I'm gonna find my other earbud.
So I know it's echoing, but I hope you are.
Say, these music, and I do them in the context of a high level of spiritual understanding. And that's like the place and the space that I come from. Say we cannot hear.
Oh, hold on. No, wait a damn minute. We're doing everything wrong today, y'all. Y'all, excuse us. It's been a long day.
Yes, it started very early.
I
I
started
started
about
about 6 or 7 this morning.
Oh,
That's
That's
what's
what's
up.
up.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
I'm
I'm
almost
almost
like,
like,
should
should
I
I
put
put
myself
myself
in
in
there?
there?
Because
Because
that's
that's
just
its
so.
own kind of soundproofing.
we gonna be a million miles away, but if that'll work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
let's
see.
see.
Here, I'm
Here,
going
I'm
to
gonna
do
do
this.
this.
And
And
while
while you talk to the people.
you both of these things.
Okay. Wait a minute. They probably can still hear you from my
Right. So I'm going to go so it actually.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I have never even heard that sound before.
Yeah, when they close together like that, it'll happen.
Okay, y'all. Sorry about the technical difficulties. So as soon as we get this figured out, she's gonna reintroduce herself for the second time because I want you to hear her background, and she can tell you more about who she is, who she's worked with. She's had a long career in entertainment. I ain't gonna tell you how long we've known each other because I'm not dating myself today. But very, very, very talented artist and writer. And this is a lady who travels and performs in multiple countries. So yeah, we started off our day today at Amp Fiddler Day. It was the official celebration of Amp Fiddler. For those of you who don't know who he is, Amp Fiddler was an amazing musician. Okay. Amp Fiddler pretty much was like the godfather of several different genres. Lord, we on location with location with location. Okay, I can't hear you yet. Okay, thank you. Let me know I'm not crazy a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so I was telling them we started off the day early this morning at Amp Fiddler Day. And yeah, Amp Fiddler is like one of the biggest juggernauts of music coming out of Detroit. Um, he's not a local artist, but he gives you that local feel when he was alive because he was so humble. So this is a man that worked with P Funk. He worked with, I mean, some of everybody, y'all. Anybody that you can think of. He's been in electronic music, he's been in funk, he's been in hip hop. He's pretty much the father of neo soul. If you like neo soul, you love Amp Fiddler. And speaking of neo soul, let me reintroduce MG the Light, Monica Blair.
Peace. What up, though? In true Detroit fashion, how y'all feeling? How y'all living? What y'all doing? What y'all cooking for dinner tonight? Say me some. It's kind of all of that. Um, but yeah, I am a singer, a songwriter, a producer, a all around creative. And I've been creating for many, many years, doing lots of writing, doing lots of recording. I'm really excited. I have several projects that are on deck right now. And
You left out hip hop artists. How dare you?
oh no, I am okay. I rap. I do. I do a lot of different stuff. So sometimes when it's time for me to say it, I just be like, man, music, kitchen sink. That's me.
So y'all, I'm
Um,
gonna toot her horn just a little bit for her because she being a little too modest for my damn liking. Okay, she is not acting like a fellow Leo right now. So this young lady worked side by side in Tyler Perry Productions, all
yeah,
the way from stage plays into the induction of him opening up the Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta.
yeah.
Just to name one of her credits. Now I let her do the rest.
Okay, so yeah, we did talk about this. That like my CV is like very interesting. So I produce events. I produce high level events. I've had the opportunity to work through a company called Beyond Eight. I've had the opportunity to work with the NFL. I've had the opportunity to work with Gucci, and this is me producing events, like being the person that
Thank you. Stop with that modest stuff. Yes.
yeah, so
Roll the
so
credit.
I'm an event producer, but what I am that was a trickle down from being an artist. So like managing my own shows, putting my own shows together, being on shows with other artists. At one point, I think there was like one time I had a festival. There's just been a lot of opportunities for me to like get out here and be seen. And yep, I toured with Tyler Perry on the front end. I was in a play in 2014 called Hell Has No Fury, Like a Woman Scorned. And then I saw how amazing everything was put together. So then I decided, I said, hey, all right, well, let me see how the back end works. And I went to working with the production team there. So anything that's entertainment, whether it be from the admin side or whether it be as a creative, my preference is the creative, but I have just as much creative joy around putting it together, especially for the right folks. And so, yeah, I just am fully stepping into being a working artist, activating around production and doing all those things. And I've been doing it for pretty much my whole life. I've known that I wanted to sing my entire life. So, yeah.
And sing is an understatement. When I tell you this girl can hit some notes that'll activate some shit in your back, you be like, oh. Like, wait a minute now. You didn't warn me.
It's been well. That's what I was saying before when the thing was kind of messing up. I think our connection has a lot to do with the idea that, like, it's spiritual. How you do what you do, how I do what everything I do is done with a spiritual context. And so creativity was just like the first singing was like my first understanding of, like, oh, this is a thing and this like works like this and I can see this clearly even though it's intangible. So it's like, that whole vibration.
Well, wonderful introduction. So I told y'all that we were going to do the Center's review, and I wanted to let you guys know. I didn't want to name her before we figured it out, y'all, because this was supposed to have been done. But
Yeah.
y'all know what was going on with my back and me looking like Weekend at Bernie's on 35 pillows in here,
Hey, yo,
not
we are
able to lay
so
down, sit
thankful.
right. So
We
we
are so
moved.
thankful you feeling better. That we
Thank
are
you.
we're on the road to recovery because the
Thank you.
people need you. So
Yes, Lord.
yeah.
Yes, Lord. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we had to wait for me to get better. We finally went to go see Sinners.
Yep.
Um we went to an early show so that we can, be extra ratchet and like talk back to the screen and things like that. But
It
it
was a
was
good time.
interesting. It was interesting. I
Mhm.
will say this. We both expected more from this movie esoterically,
Yeah.
but it was a nice introduction to get people, into the idea of accepting multiple different, I want to say, different versions of spirituality versus culture. The intriguing part of how they use music and music
Mhm.
genres even came off as its own spirituality.
Yeah, and we're not gonna do no spoilers because I know it's people that may have still not seen.
No, we
Um,
no damn that we spoiling shit. You should have seen it already.
well, what I will say is, like, they did go pretty deep into the idea of like the ancestral tap in of making music. That there are people who there are people that can sing and there are people that can sing. There are people that can play and there are people that can play. And like we really are talking about tapping into a frequency that you have access to that allows you to really bend time.
Right.
And I think they did a really good job of expressing that as the context, as kind of the crux. But I definitely agree with your sentiment that it was a beautiful movie. It was a beautiful story. It was beautifully put together. The way it's kind of talked about in terms of like esoteric vibrations, it's hard for me to. It felt like I'm at the beginning of my spiritual journey, and this is
Yes.
what I understand. That's what it
Yes.
felt like for me.
I will say because they did multiple musical numbers. So there's one musical number in particular where you have, please excuse my trolls, because some of
Oh
them
no!
are,
Did you see me? Did you see me cackle? It
yes, I
was so.
saw the look on your face. Please excuse my trolls. They're a little bit feisty, okay? I forgot to warn you.
That's a jam.
there's
That's
there's
a jam. You know the Leo and me don't care nothing about that. Like,
listen, there's a scene where you have Preacher Boy, where he does his solo down to the juke joint.
mm-hmm,
Okay, listen, that's the Mississippi falling out down to the juke joint. Okay, and I want to say that everybody focused on when he got to the juke joint as of when he tapped into sinning. But for me, the first decision, one, was when his father foreshadowed, um, letting him know that if you go over here, the devil will come to see you. So when he got the guitar from his cousin, well, that was Smoke. No, that was Stack. Excuse me, that was Stack, because
mm-hmm,
cousins are twins.
mm-hmm,
Stack gave him the guitar, and I never saw anybody who did content on this mention this, but this is very important.
okay,
When he gave him that guitar under the illusion that it came from a very notable jazz musician from Chicago, knowing that this is a little green country boy who was going to be excited
Yeah.
to have this guitar. But
Yeah.
the problem was because he gave him that guitar through that lie through omission, that was actually, the beginning of the end for him when it came to his slippery slope into making a deal with the left side, the left hand side. My
Mhm.
spiritual people, if you with the light, you're on the right. If you dance with the devil, you're on the left.
Mhm.
So he takes this guitar under this lie that this guitar was won in a like a poker game in Chicago.
Yeah.
So they get this guitar and then they end up at the station, which is spiritually a place of transition or a portal. So how they tie everybody in from the train station is finding out everybody's type of sin, because that was really the intro to everybody being able to come to the juke joint. Your actual payment to come to the juke joint was to fall on whatever your sin was and to agree to do whatever it was that brought you into the dark side. Everybody had a different sin.
Yeah.
So you had, the blues player guy. Yeah, it's been a long day. I can't remember his name. The one that played the harmonica. His sin was alcoholism.
So Matt, it's based off of that story. They talked about, are we talking about Robert Johnson? So it's
Yes.
based off of the whole
Well,
story is based off
Preacher
of that
Boy is the
concept.
one that's supposed to represent Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
So when they met the other Delta Slim, that's his name. When they met Delta
Mhm.
Slim down to the train station, like I said, this is the place of transition, which is a spiritual place, which is a portal.
Yeah.
So here it is. They meet all these people at this portal to find out everybody's sin. Now, here it is, the chosen one, who is Preacher Boy. He had more than one sin. His sin that got him into the juke joint that nobody talks about is lust, because he
Yeah.
met a married woman and he wanted to covet another man's wife. He was gonna, he adultery. Delta Slim, his was alcoholism.
Mhm.
Of course, Stack was telling everybody whatever they wanted to hear. He was paying top dollar to get people to do what he wanted them to do, regardless of what it would take. Because pretty much he was like a used car salesman, y'all. He tell you whatever the hell he need to tell you to get what he wanted. Okay. Would you say sounds like you? Okay, I'm gonna pray for you. So here it is. You get the what we would call in the South the octoroon character
Mhm.
who comes in. That's very common down south. When you're in like the Delta, Louisiana, nobody is tripping over somebody that is like a passer. That's what she would be considered as a passer. So they meet her at the train station as well. Once again, like I said, this is a place of transition and a portal. She had just lost her mother. So now, mind you, weird enough, she was a married woman herself, but we didn't even see her husband, and she was sitting up here, going in on Stack for not being there for, and she lost her mother. Her mother just passed away. She had the funeral, but it's like, where the hell is your damn husband? Why wasn't he here with you down
But
to the
she
train
was
station?
more mad the twins weren't there.
Huh? Yeah,
She
but
was more
why
mad
you
the
got?
twins wasn't there.
She was only mad. First of all, y'all, the twins have been gone for 7 damn years. How you gonna be mad at somebody who's been gone for 7 years for not coming to your mother's funeral that they didn't even know was a thing because they didn't even know she passed away?
But the seventh thing is really interesting in terms of like
Oh, divinity.
because your divinity, because Smoke had that protection that he
Yes,
just kind of poo-pooed, and she basically openly said like, how you know that protection wasn't protecting you and your brother? So they
right.
were going a divine years, so he turned back around to her
Yeah.
within the 7 years. I thought that was really interesting too.
So that too, it appeared that it was a May December romance because she seemed a little like on the cougar side.
Yeah.
She seemed a little seasoned, y'all, but he kept that gree bag around his neck the whole 7 years.
Yeah.
And they had a conversation about a baby that they had that passed away. And he
Hmm.
asked, well, why didn't that because he was treating it like it was mumbo jumbo. Like, why didn't that mumbo jumbo work for our baby? And it was like, damn, that was harsh. Like, I wanted to punch him in the throat. Like, why would
But
you say that? You've
it was
been gone
hard.
for 7 years. You ran away from the problem. You going
It was harsh, but even the way she responded, because she was like, her
he still
response was,
responded with love.
she was like, I don't know. And the funny thing is, I'm sure that she could see, I'm sure that she could feel, I'm sure that she just knew the stability that would be necessary for a baby wasn't there. And if the story ends the way the story ends, with both of them going down the way they went down, then no baby need to be, he be
Well,
in
I
that no
believe
way.
that what happened was that baby crossed over to be their spirit guide, and that
Yep,
was the real protection because they both, we'll get to that. When they both got to that point, they came together like they were a wedded couple with their baby.
absolutely.
So here it is. We leaving the train station, y'all. So here it is. Smoke and Stack have ripped off, what was it, the Italian mob, and I think with the Irish mob. Y'all,
Both.
they done robbed the hell out of everybody in Chicago.
And
Made
got
their
out of
way down
Dodge
to
real
Mississippi.
quick.
Yeah, they got a whole pickup truck and then robbed the hell out of everybody, right? So they hid the truck off in the damn woods. They had it hid good. They had Irish beer, Italian wine,
Hmm.
and somewhere they got some hooch. I don't know. So they pull this truck out, and it's like him and preacher boy went to go get the truck, and then his brother went to go handle business in town with the Asian family because they wanted to put in an order so that they could sell food, get the sign made for the juke joint. Y'all, first thing first, that sign was a damn jinx because the only paint she had was blood
That's
red.
red.
And when I saw that, I said, okay, the scarlet letter. Because this is a house of, ill repute. So you've marked the house of ill repute. Well,
Also,
Pastor, you get out of here now because I'm going to spoil the hell out of this for you. I already told you I'm going to pray for you. So you come back and watch this after you go to the movies and see it because it's done. It's spoiled.
also the split of them kind of going one way and going
Yeah.
another. If the cousin hadn't really gone with the one that was like shaky,
Yes.
that may have turned out different. Like, it was like they both were clearly on divergent paths, even
Yeah.
in the onset of putting all this together, starting this juke
Well,
joint.
see, I even like the duality of them being twins because we both came up with this. Um, it was like mirrored sides of the same soul. So
Yeah.
one represented the light and the path going into righteousness. The other one represented ill repute and going off into darkness.
Hmm.
And you see that between their personalities and the way they handle things independently when they're not together. Y'all,
Hmm.
listen, it was parts I ain't had no business laughing at, but I'm petty. So pray for me, right? They're down to the grocery store, and one side of the street is the white grocery stores and shops. The other side of the street is where the black people shop.
Hmm.
So here it is. You got the Chow family, and the wife is and her daughter. No, wait a minute. The husband and the daughter work on the black side of the street, which I thought was interesting because their personalities were totally night and day. Like he was chill, he was cool, he was ready to kick it. He's slapping hands. My baby was good. Like he was cool. Y'all, the daughter was ratchet. Okay, so here it is. Smoke goes to speak to the daughter, and the daughter, sucking teeth and like she got the attitude and whatnot. I'm like, why she got to be ghetto because she on the black side of the street? What is
She was kind
this?
of stank. She was kind of stank. She didn't
Yeah,
want to be
so
bothered with
he's like,
nobody.
go get your mom. And he sends her across the street to go get her mom from the white grocery store. She takes over, runs
Yeah.
the register. The mom comes over. Yeah, in between this,
I thought that was an interesting dialogue about
yes,
them providing goods too. That these were Chinese Americans and they had set up shop and they were providing goods, which is like a very normal thing in the hood, actually,
yeah,
for Chinese
yeah.
businesses to be present. And you know,
And here's another part I had no business laughing at, y'all. This is what I was leading up to. So there's this cute little girl that's outside of the store on the black side, and he walks up to her and he teaches her how to negotiate a business deal. So he's like, I'll pay you 10 cents for every minute you watch my truck. Just blow the horn if anybody, come and touch it. So she was willing to accept the 10 cent. Y'all got to understand, this is 1932. So that's a lot of money.
yeah,
So he like, wait a minute, you got to negotiate. So he's teaching her how to barter, and he ups the price to 20 cent a minute.
yeah,
And she's like, oh, okay. So she's in the truck while he's in the store talking to Bo, right? And she gets to blowing the horn. He gets out there, and there's these two that are trying to steal, alcohol out the back of the truck.
yeah.
So he come out there like, oh, we ain't know it was you. She said that the part when she cussed had me done. She like, I'm grown, I'm making money now. She's like, you a motherfucking lie. I told him
I
whose
told him
truck
who
it
truck
was.
this was.
Y'all, this is where I got to laughing at I almost hurt my back again. Why he shoot the man in his ass, y'all?
He did. He did.
Shot him in his cheeks.
He
And then the
did.
other one standing over there,
Shot him in
he
his cheeks
shoots
was
him just for
funny.
good measure. Like, I can't let nobody think that you tried to rob me and got away without a consequence. So he's like, well, damn, what if I get sepsis or something? I ain't got no money to go to the doctor. Y'all, he went in there, gave the people at the store the money to take care of this man and get
Yep.
him the medicine he needed for the shots. Like,
But only the guy that he messed with though, not the other
right,
one.
right. He
I
let
think he
the
probably
other,
did for both of them, but like he was like,
he
"Yo,
gave
you
him,
my
he gave
homie."
him what was it, like $40?
He gave him like
Which
forty
was a
dollars.
whole lot of money back then. So here's the wife coming across the street. She said, it's two people shot out here. This look like your kind of work. So, they put in the order, to get their food for the night, get the
Mhm.
sign done, and they show you the progression of everybody preparing to go down to the juke joint because they
Mhm.
told everybody at the train station, which is
Mhm.
interesting because remember I said the train station is a portal. So
Mhm.
we got to remember those are souls that are coming back and forth
Yeah.
from the portal, either way it goes.
Yeah.
So they finally figure this out, and out of nowhere, here comes Remick.
He-
Remick is the lead vampire. This crispy bastard just fall out the sky and starts running to a house, y'all. He's smoking, right? He just running and smoking. I'm like, damn, he look like a burnt hot dog. What the hell is going on? But the sun, he couldn't be out in the sunlight. So
Facts.
what I found interesting about the dynamic between Remick and Stack is they both were liars. They would both tell you whatever you wanted or needed to hear so that they could get their objectives met. Like, everybody noticed that with Remick, but nobody paid attention to that with Stack. They both had the
Mhm.
same mindset. Only
It just
one was
one wasn't
alive,
a
the other was
vampire.
dead.
It's just one wasn't a vampire.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
So we get introduced to the Choctaw Nation. Shout out to my mama's side of the family, okay?
And they
And
came in
they,
right on time saying doing
yeah,
exactly like it was beautiful.
yeah, they weren't there for long, but I love the fact that they laid the groundwork for letting you know that these spiritual entities, as long as you don't invite them in,
Yeah.
you'll be fine. So that that set the precedence to let you know that the contract always relies on you having to accept allowing them into, your space. You have to agree. So, Remick doing what Remick does, that used car salesman talk. He hey, they after me. He plays, he realizes they're Ku Klux Klan. So he plays into, their racial bias.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. I noticed he fixed his Irish brogue. If you notice when he talked to them
He
at first,
sounded much more American
yes, his
until he
accent was
really,
gone. Because y'all got to
yeah,
remember, down in the Delta, Irish were treated just as bad as black folks.
absolutely.
Only difference was they were able to eventually buy off into the idea of whiteness, and you know they still had more things that they could do that black people couldn't. So here it is. He finally convinces them to let him in, tricks them, gives them gold, and this is ancient gold, y'all. This ain't nothing new. This is ancient pieces of gold. Now, if you know anything about like Greek mythology and other cultures, usually when they give you those coins like that, those coins represent a payment for the ferry before your soul is crossed over.
Hmm.
So they take the gold, they let him come in the house. Choctaw Nation is giving them the rules of engagement. Was like, he's not what you think he is. If he's not in there, don't let him in. We find out too late. They said, hey, we gonna back up, we gonna leave. We just letting you know what's going on, right? So wife goes back in. Hey, the coast is clear. Y'all, they so disrespectful. Talking about the engines. The engines is gone, right? To
They
her
did
surprise,
say that.
yeah,
They
to her
did say
surprise,
that.
her husband had already bit the dust. So
Hmm.
this is how they were crossed over. And the next time we see Remick, he brings them down to the juke joint. So the juke joint starts off going very well, y'all. Everybody comes in, they're having a good time. um Smoke and Stack have been gone, like we said, for 7 years, so they
Yeah.
don't know about the financial infrastructure of what's going on.
Hmm.
So they come in thinking they're just gonna make cold hard cash, and y'all, they didn't have any idea that they had plantation money. Now the term, and I know you've heard this before, you got Southern family when they tell you don't take no wooden nickels.
Yeah.
This is where this comes from. They had these wooden plantation nickels. And this is how people were paying for stuff. And he got pissed, like, wait a minute, don't take no more of them damn wooden nickels. We want money. We gonna go broke with these damn fake ass pieces of, wooden nickels. So here it is. They had to talk him into accepting it, because how do you get the people to keep coming back if you can't meet them where they are?
True.
So once again, manipulation. I'm going to accommodate you now to get what I want later. And
Yeah.
this whole entire movie was in that energy. Every time there was a sleight of the hand, some type of trick, it was always, I'm gonna give you what you want now so that I can get what I want out of you later.
But you know what was interesting? That was the only space in the movie where I think it's Annie, where she stood next to Stack.
Hmm. Yeah,
She actually didn't really acknowledge him in any other profound way other than that moment, because what it allowed, she was like, yo, if you really want to get in with these people, like, you have to accept them as they're coming into the space.
but isn't that how religion works when they tell you, come as you are? If you want people
That
to,
felt like Nirvana. Come as you were, as I want you to be. That's my jam. No,
I
yeah.
knew the music was gonna come somewhere. But so here it is. He has to accept, the plantation nickels, which was like, the whites version of, keeping those sharecroppers from being empowered.
It
Because
was early credit. It was early credit
it was
scheme.
early credit, but here's the difference though. They couldn't purchase land and stores and like the Asian community could, because where the hell were you gonna take these wooden nickels outside of plantation?
They were
Like the
already being
plantation,
red line, and it was really just like
right?
supplies. It wasn't
Great point.
provisions.
It was the first, example of redlining people.
Yeah.
Now, what they didn't add in this movie, and I can give y'all this because my family is from this area. the relationship between the Asian people that came into the Delta and the
Mhm.
black people and the indigenous that were already down there, it was a lot closer than what it was. And you got to see that between Bo and Smoke when they hugged and embraced like brothers, because back then Chinese people could not go to the hospital just like black people couldn't. So let's say they wanted to have a baby, it would have been someone like Annie that would have been their midwife. So they relied on the black women of the community to be their midwives or to be their medicine woman to heal them and to deliver their babies. So the relationship was a whole lot closer than what was shown in this movie, which made
Mhm.
it so egregious for how the wife switched up on everybody towards the end, because both saw them as family. The wife was like, oh, this ain't none of our business. But because she didn't have the mindset her husband had, she actually sacrificed her husband
Yeah.
and then wouldn't take accountability for sacrificing her husband and then sacrifice everybody so that she can get to her daughter. And of course, that never happened.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
So when we get to the performances at the juke joint, mind you, the fact that they were eating fish, okay, fish has a very religious context in itself, because remember, it's about light and dark, it's about the duality in religion. And
Mhm.
when you think about the chosen one, which was Church Boy, you think about the Messiah, how did he feed everybody down to the dewdrop in at the water, when they
Mhm.
had that kick session? What did he do?
Mhm.
He took the fish and the loaves of bread and he fed the multitude. So that's
Mhm.
how they fed the juke joint. They fed everybody fish and bread. Everybody had
Come
them
on,
catfish on.
multitudes.
Yeah, so he performs, and the night starts off with Delta Slim, who is the OG of that area. He's the most popular of the blues entertainers from down there. He starts it off, and then we get Church Boy.
Mhm.
And Church Boy is able to pierce the veil with his performance, not just because he's a great singer and guitar player.
Mhm.
He is the actual anointed one. He's the chosen one. So you come to find out this is why Remick wanted him, not just because he just had this awesome voice and he was great with music. It was his anointing that Remick wanted.
Yeah.
So, Remick came for the anointing, and it was interesting because remember, the father said, if you go, the devil will meet you, he will come for you.
First
So,
thing he said at the beginning of the movie.
yes. So Remick did represent the devil, but Remick had a way of connecting with people because he was like Ray Ray. Shout out to Ray Ray from Detroit, y'all. He was Mr. Tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
He told everybody what they wanted to hear, connected with everybody in their heart space and in their mind where he thought, he could actually get you to buy into what he wanted. So, the juke joint is jumping, they having a good time, and they do this wonderful sequence where they show him performing, and then they show how blues turns into all these other subgenres that we listen to today. And then they gave, you know, um, reverence to all the different cultures and backgrounds by showing all their different music, their styles of dance, their cultural icons, and they did this visual homage to Burn the House Down. And when you perform, if you are one of those performers that literally shuts down the show, they say you burn the house down, right?
Yeah.
So they showed you visually him burning the house down, and the performance was so good, the devil came to visit.
Yep.
So when he comes with, his new vampires in tow that, he tricked into vampirism because he pretended like he was one of them and took them out.
Mhm.
They come with fiddles. And I want y'all to know, like, hold on, let me find the significance of fiddles and the devil because I want to read this to y'all.
Mm. Yo, she breaking this movie down like crazy right now. I'm loving it. I was there and I'm loving it. It's amazing. All these spiritual moments were definitely being navigated. It was an interesting movie.
Okay. So here we go. Thanks to Google AI, it says the association with the fiddle, often used synonymously with violins. Now, mind you, they did have violins and fiddles. With the devil stems from a few key factors. It is used in music that encourages dancing and merriment. Its association with transient musicians, and they were transient because they were like gypsies. They just popped up out of nowhere. It
Okay.
says its association with transient musicians who often busk in the streets or at parties, and the mystical surroundings of virtuoso like Niccolo Paganini. It
Mhm.
says dancing and merriment, and the symbolic representation. Here we go. In the folklore and the popular culture, the devil playing the fiddle is a common image used to represent temptation,
Mm.
evil, or mischief. The
Mm.
symbolic representation has further reinforced the association between the fiddle and the devil.
Mm.
So when they came to perform, you had the couple, one had a guitar, the other one had a violin. He had a fiddle. He represented the devil. So the devil had a fiddle. But what they showed was
Mm.
several different strings, several different variations. So if you go throughout history and you look at all the different variations, it's like they all pretty much come off of the fiddle. And he's showing you all these different things, the chords, right?
Mhm.
Because the chords from the guitar or the fiddle can help to activate a Kundalini awakening through the
Mhm.
chakra alignment in the spine. Now,
Mhm.
why that makes so much sense to me, y'all,
Mhm.
is because he came to activate the energy of the chosen one because he didn't have a soul. He wanted to reconnect with the spirit realm. And his excuse to them was he wanted to connect with his ancestors.
Yeah.
So when you look at the guitar, anybody that's a musician, they have a
Mm.
chord called the devil's chord. The devil's chord is usually used in rock and roll. Once again, rock and roll comes out of the blues.
Yeah.
So that represents Remick as well and his influence, you know, coming to Church Boy, and Church Boy receives his guitar, and he wanted to jailbreak his talent because of his anointing so that he can get him to play the devil's chords,
Mhm.
aka the blues. So
Mhm.
here they are, they show up with their fiddles, right? And we find out what the Choctaw Nation said about they could not come in without being invited.
Yeah.
So, because this is Mississippi 1932, they were very apprehensive. Like, no, we don't need no white people coming in here. You know, this could turn into
Mhm.
something really ugly if you come in here. Somebody look at your woman wrong. Somebody spill a drink. We don't want no race war. So hell no, y'all can't come in here. So they had to go and do whatever they did. But here's the thing: they made them believe the illusion that they left. We
Mhm.
find out later they didn't leave. They found a seat, they perched themselves at that seat, and they waited while they performed and they were playing their chords. They waited, in which I think they were planning either another way to get in or they were going to get the people that came off the road because the road coming to the juke joint represents the crossroads.
They was gonna spend all night trying to figure out how to get up in there.
Right. So here it is. They couldn't get in. And I can't. What's the passer girl's her character name? I don't want to just be rude and be like the octoroon.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Okay, well the light our extra light skinned cousin. Okay, so she just decided that she want to be a Karen. She can't leave well enough alone. They rejected the devil. So when you reject the
Well,
devil has
no, well, no, well, no, well, no. Like, let's be real. Like, Stack really wanted bread. That
right.
was the whole point.
But
His
see,
name is
she
Stack.
she wanted him.
And so she was trying, she wanted him. So what she was doing, and she was like, yo, these the only white people around. They
Thank you,
probably
Mary.
got bread.
Mary.
let me see what kind of bread they got. Let me just fill them out. They might not be so bad. Let's see. That's what
Well,
happened.
thank you for that, Mary. That's her name. So
Yep,
here's the
Mary.
deal.
There we go.
Up until that moment, Stack kept refusing her because he didn't want the problems of the perception of him dealing with a white woman in Mississippi in 1932 because people would take your life. It was that serious.
Going with that.
So even her being in the juke joint was controversial because she really comes off as a white woman. So,
Hmm.
she was in love with him from the past,
Hmm.
and she was trying to find a way to get him to agree to be with her. So this was her way of showing her loyalty. It's
Hmm.
still very Karenistic, okay? Because they had already rejected the devil, and when you reject the devil, he has to flee. No, she had to take her ass outside, y'all.
That was the beginning of the end. Like, why you go out there and mess with them people? Like, we said no. Just close the door and let's have a good time in here at the juke
I just want to
joint.
know, why did Ryan Coogler have to make the vampire slob like that? That was disgusting.
The slide part was
It was
weird.
very
Was it
Karen
some? It seemed like some. I felt like it was like an indicator that was just like very subtle. It was like an indicator of what
salivating.
lied beneath. She spit in that man's mouth, and I was done. I was like, "Yo, bruh, like that's disgusting." Like, I'm not. I mean, I get that show, boo, but baby, no.
No, first of all, y'all, she looked like a Saint Bernard before she did it. It was nothing sexy about it. It was thick drool. It looked dehydrated. It was terrible.
And she wasn't the only one. Like, a few people had it. Like, that were like these vampire
I'm like, y'all can
characters.
keep that vampire fact. We don't need that one. Don't bring that back. But she goes outside, and Remick and his corral, they were outside performing. And it's weird, y'all, that when they came to the door and they first got rejected, they, even though Remick lies every time his mouth is open because he likes to meet you where you are so that he can get what he wants, they told the truth in the music. He's
Yeah,
singing to them and talking about picking people bones clean and eating the flesh. And I'm like, what the hell kind of song is this? So why would you even want to go
that's what
talk
I
to
was
somebody
thinking.
that was sing that to y'all?
That's what I was thinking too. Is that it was to show lust. It was to show hunger for the aliveness of the other people, for the destruction. I felt that too. I saw that too.
Yeah, so to me, it's like they sang about eating people's, flesh. Like,
But it was the
why
most
would you?
tender little song. It was
The song,
like,
the
but
song
you know
was
what though?
messed up, y'all. When you listen to the lyrics,
I've heard songs like that where it's like it's the most tender delivery, and the lyrics is like
messed up.
diabolical. Like,
But
friend, I don't
I've
want to
always
sing this
joked about
smoothly.
this, and I know you know this to be true. You
Mm.
can hide anything you ain't got no business saying or singing in a song in a falsetto. If
Yeah,
your
just
falsetto
anything
is
that is
good, you can say all
soft.
types of deviant things, and nobody would know or care.
Anything that is supremely soft. If you present it in a
Mhm.
soft, gentle
And,
way,
and that's what they
most
did with
people
that
super
song.
receive it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
They
what they
were
did
like,
with the song.
we're gonna pick your bones straight. Or some shit like that. And I was like, yo, friend, like, and you know me as a musician, like immediately I'm hearing that that's what they're saying. And I mean, I'm caught up because I'm like, hark, I'm say it again
But
because
you're
I
right
think I
though.
know what
It
I
was
said.
it was the I think that they people didn't catch on to what they were singing because it was the pitch that it was in. And
Yo,
because it was so
it's
melodic, it
nuts.
didn't seem as messed up as it was. We both like, this sound like murder, murder, kill, kill. Like, what is this?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Like, no, what? Like,
Yes,
why would
like
you
they
even
are
deal with
neo
them?
music. Absolutely.
Yeah, very much so. It's
Absolutely.
like it's to lull you into some sort of. I
It,
feel like most music right now is to lull you into some sort of like deep depression. Like
oh
that's
my
the
God.
point
It
of
was
it.
it was a it was a very,
So
very
crazy.
gross lullaby. So finally, like I said, she goes out there because she wants to get the money, right? Trying to show she down. This is why you don't be no ride or die chick, because you're gonna die. And she did. So she comes back in.
Mhm.
She comes back in, and we see the first transgression because nobody, cornbread. He's the security at the door.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't know the rules about the spirit has to be invited in.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he didn't think it was strange that she was asking him to let her back in. It's like, you've been in here all night. What the hell you asking me for? But he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, come on in. So she was able to cross that door, that perimeter, because he invited her in. And this is when, she gets into this bloodthirst and she does this gross stuff we talked about with the spitting in his mouth. And y'all, it was very Quentin Tarantino what she did to his neck. It was gross, and everything went downhill from there. Mind you,
Yeah.
they're still performing. Everybody's still, having a great time, like how the club is when people get beat up. Everybody's still having a great time.
As long
Nobody
as don't
knows what's
nobody
going
shoot,
on.
ain't nobody shooting, everybody's still kicking it. They kicked
Right.
him out. All right,
Now,
bet.
now, mind you, she gives him the gold coins that Remick gave her. Remember what I just said about these gold coins. When you get these coins are supposed to pay the ferryman when he takes your soul to Hades.
Mhm.
So every time somebody get these damn coins, y'all, they end up getting crossed over. So she gives him these coins. She promised to do the oochie coochie with him, get nasty with him. And of course, he was like, yes, let's get it, right? Y'all, she gets him in the worst way, like death by temptation. Gets him in the worst way.
It ain't it. It ain't the way. It ain't the way.
So, I
It's not the
mean,
way.
that was the first, ill-gotten spirit to cross over to come in. And she ended up, it was very manipulative when you think about it, because this way she forced him to be with her. It was so karmic, y'all. She
It
bid
was
him
hella
to,
karmic.
to force him to be with her. And then
It
she
was hella
told
karmic.
him, we'll all be back. We gonna eat good tonight. We'll all be back. Y'all, listen. Smoke the powed her so many times she should have looked like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, she was like getting shot in the head, running off, frolicking. It was
She popped back up
very
like she got bit by a mosquito. Like what the
like, yeah. Wait, what?
oh man.
No.
So she does leave, and when she leaves, we find out that you know because it appears that they're gone, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows that Stack is one of those. So here it is. We have Annie, who is like the medicine woman, the Gree lady, the hoodoo lady, because this is hoodoo country, y'all. And she's like, oh, this is a hag spirit. These hags and hanks.
Yeah.
So she was the only one that could differentiate the spirits, and then she was able to identify what they were.
Yeah, it took her a second.
Yeah, it took her a second because she never seen vampires before, but she
She
was
said
the
she had
only
never
one.
seen him. Yeah.
She was the only one that identified what they were. So they locked, Stack in the room until further notice. Y'all, funniest, pettiest shit ever. They done peeled all these damn cloves of garlic, right? She makes everybody eat a whole clove of garlic to prove they wasn't vampires.
Yep.
And it got kind of dicey because, Delta Slim, he looked like he was about to turn, but we found out he was just drunk. And the liquor and the garlic didn't agree.
At home, the singer homegirl, she wasn't.
Listen,
She just was being funny acting, but she wasn't about it either. She was like, I don't want to eat
listen,
this.
she couldn't have done that with me. I'd have powed her by chance. Like, oh, I had to make sure. Like, you don't want to eat the garlic? I'm gonna send you downstairs. You ain't gonna sit in here with me. We gotta know.
Outside
So
with you.
this is the part that nobody talks about with the Asian married couple, y'all.
Mhm.
So the wife turns to her husband, and she's like, okay, well, pretty much like this ain't none of our damn business, y'all. Let's get up out of here. So
Mhm.
him being a doting, loving husband, get your nasty ass out of here. Hold on. It's just certain trolling we ain't gonna do. So let me go back to my train of thought. So he's being a doting, loving husband, and he goes to get the car, y'all. Needless to say, we find out the vampires never left, just like the first time. But Bo don't come back till way later, y'all.
Yeah.
Cornbread then went to go take a pee, and he was gone for about 32 years. We found out he got.
And they
So
sat the drunk dude at the door for protection.
right, but
But
he
this is at the same. But this is all happening at the same time
all
when
of
we
this is
figuring
happening
out
simultaneously.
homeboy outside and Stack back in the back room
Yes,
with Spitty Yachty Dopus back there.
I almost spit on my damn phone.
This is the delirium setting in.
So y'all
Listen,
listen. They tell the little cousin, church boy, he say, go get Stack. So he go to get Stack. Y'all, Stack in there getting the ride of his life.
Stack busy.
She
Stack
giving him
busy.
the business. He closed the door, was like, he said, I told you to get him. I don't care who he with. He said, I ain't going back by myself. Good thing he didn't go back by himself because she would have probably got him too, which he was the one that the vampires wanted because he was anointed.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all, all of this stuff is going on simultaneously, and you know, we end up having a whole situation where Stack ends up waking up. They got the door locked,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to get out. And there's this tug of war between him and his brother because his brother hasn't accepted that he's no longer the brother that he was when they got there.
Mm.
And this is when we start to find out that this is a bigger problem because it's like, damn, they got one of the brothers. So they closed down the juke joint, send everybody home, get y'all ass out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the point where we find out the vampires never left. They had been sitting outside, perched somewhere, just waiting. And everybody that called themselves going home got bit profusely. Okay. So I don't know how they figured this out, y'all, but they did Remick his own music sequence that was his version of Thriller. Okay,
Yeah. It was, yeah.
it was his Irish version of Thriller, and he river dancing for dear life, legs he having a great time, and then all the sharecroppers, they
River
out
dancing
there
for dear life is
dancing with him in
crazy.
the circle. They having a great time, and I said, damn, they got everybody the whole juke joint, y'all.
I thought it was really interesting that that you said there was this diversity in coming together in
Yes.
this very evil way.
Now that's the y'all. That was the most
It was all
cunning,
inclusive.
manipulative thing. And this is where Remick shows you how cunning the devil is because he made these people think that, him stealing their divinity, snatching their soul, brought them together and gave them inclusion. And it's no racism and it's perfect. And you need to be with me and you would never have any bills and all your troubles and woes would be
And
gone.
he
Join us.
wasn't saying it like that, but
Oh, he
like
turned into a televangelist.
yeah, that's exactly what it was
He
though.
turned into a televangelist and he's preaching the unrighteous gospel. And he's got the whole juke joint. Everybody that left is outside. And now they're trying to get back in. But remember, they can't get in without being invited because evil
Mhm.
spirits have to be invited in. You have to accept them.
Mhm.
Oh, ma'am. The Chinese wife. I'm glad I don't remember her character's
Yes.
name because, bitch, I hate you. Her husband comes back, y'all, after he'd been gone all my life. He finally shows back up and he's like, oh, we got the car ready. Let's go. But
But wait, he
Cornbread is
shows back
literally
up.
in the midst of mauling somebody. And he just walked past like he ain't see nothing. He's like, oh, well, he was just hungry.
It was
What?
like, babe, ready to go? And it's like, yeah, you one of them. Like it's a wrap.
So
Like
they gotta tell her, y'all. No, don't go out here. Don't. We. I
Grace,
don't
there
want
we
to call
go.
her Grace. Wasn't nothing graceful about it.
Grace.
It wasn't nothing
Come
graceful
on,
about it.
Grace.
It wasn't no amazing grace about Grace. We gonna call her Disgrace because that's what she was.
Oh.
So this is where you get to see, how powerful and manipulative Remick really was. Because every time he bites someone, he siphons all of their energy. He receives their memories,
You
all
know
the
they thoughts.
downloads, all knowledge that they have. It becomes his.
Cause he
So,
started talking to Grace in Chinese, whatever
oh,
their language
yo, he
was,
telling her all
saying a
types of
freaky
crazy stuff.
deaky.
Like, I
Like,
know how you
whoa,
like to
friend.
be licked, and I won't bite you everywhere. And it's like, what? Mind you, her husband is standing next to him, like,
Sir, sir.
right. He's just
Uh-uh.
standing there like it's cool, right? We gonna call her Disgrace. That's her name. Her name is Disgrace. So Remick plays on her motherhood. He
Mm-hmm.
already has her husband,
Mm-hmm.
and he tells her that they're gonna go down to the store and get their daughter because they. This is the thing, like store owners, they live in one part of the store and then work in the other. So the
Mm-hmm.
daughter was in the store. So he's telling her, we're gonna go down here and get your daughter. And why did he tell Disgrace that? Oh, you big mouth bitch, you. Come in! He's all the way across the damn field, y'all, like a football field away. He like,
Yeah.
he comes and the whole outside comes with him.
It was like charge. And they
Oh my God. Now, mind you, this ain't even her business, y'all. This is not her establishment. But because she got mad about her husband, who she sent outside, let's remember that. She sent him outside to get the car because she ain't want nothing to do with these black folks' business. She sent them out to get unalived, y'all.
yeah.
And then wanted to make everybody have sympathy for her daughter. They wouldn't have your daughter if you didn't send your husband outside.
They was like, yo, they were like, chill, just wait until the morning. Be like, yo, like, just be there, just chill. Don't
Because
go
the
nowhere,
vampires
don't do
wasn't
nothing.
leaving.
So if
They
they had
wasn't
set
gonna
aside,
walk
not
around
invited
all the way
nobody,
to your daughter's store.
like
So
none of them, like none of the people who were inside already would have died. Like the wrong thing was when they shut the party down in the first place. But like the second
all they
wrong
did was
thing
turn it
was
into a
when they
locker
brought
room and
everybody
leave.
inside and he had a whole army out there at the point when everybody was like gone.
Pretty much.
It was
So
crazy.
even like with the Asian couple, like the
Mm,
husband, his sin was gambling.
mm-hmm.
Everybody in there, their true payment to come in was to, engage in their sin, whatever their pleasure was. So mind you, this whole movie, they're up and down the road. That road represents the crossroad. And this is where the Robert Greene part is very prevalent because the story of Robert Greene is people believe that he went down to the crossroad, met with Papa Legba, and he came back with a whole different talent. And he played his guitar like two people. And his talent was so noticeably different that it had to be a spiritual agreement, a contract that he made. And they said he didn't go just once, he went twice.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why that is important is because we see how many chances Church Boy had to walk away from this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, this was so funny yet petty, right? They done went through hell and high water. He got into a fight with Remick. Remick ended up with nails like mine. I don't know when that happened. And Remick's playing on his divinity by telling him that God isn't real. That was the lie that they used when they came to persecute me and my people in Ireland. And he's baptizing them in the water while he's telling them this. And all of the vampires, while Preacher Boy is praying, they start reciting the same scriptures, letting us know that the devil knows the Bible better than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever knowledge he has, the whole entire group of vampires, because he turned them, they all had the same knowledge as a hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this battle outside. Y'all, he hits Remick with the guitar, and we find out that the piece on the guitar is silver. When
Mm-hmm.
he now notice, Annie was the first one that gave us this telltale sign that if you hurt Remick, they all feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, she's the most intuitive out of the movie, but she's the most demonized because she's spiritual but not religious.
Mm-hmm.
So he hits him, that that silver goes into his head. We see all of the vampires suffer from the same injury. So we find out that once again she's right. So what was it, Smoke that came out and saved him?
Yeah, Smoke ran a
The stake
stake
through his
through
heart.
his heart.
In the midst of that, the sun is coming up, which took out all of the vampires at the same time.
Yep.
So, hey, honey lot. So here's the interesting part, y'all. This is where we find out that if the vampires never came, they wouldn't have lived to see the next day anyway. Because one of the people that Remick turned, remember we said he was at the Ku Klux Klan people's house, he changed his accent so that they wouldn't discriminate against him.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who he bit was the nephew of the Grand Dragon.
Yep.
And the plan was to get Smoke and Stack to buy this building as what they called a kill house. And they were going to execute every black person that they got in that building that night anyway. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Lord, you put something on my ointment for my arm. Thank you.
I know that's right.
So, no matter what happened, whether the vampires showed up or not, they weren't going to make it through the night. The only reason why Remick came is because he knew the chosen one was going to be there.
Yeah.
So the plan was to get all these people in the same place and slaughter them in this place. So they were going to keep the money, they were going to still have the place, and they were going to rid that area of every black person that they possibly could have got rid of at the same time, and they would have got away with it because the Grand Dragon also, he looked like he was also in law enforcement. So y'all
Mm-hmm.
catch that. So here it is, we see where the military training comes in with the twin that was still alive, who still had his divinity.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, y'all. When I say he set them up on some 18 type John Wick type stuff.
he definitely put he definitely it almost turned into a different movie.
Oh, we got Honey Lot said, hey, and be the light.
Hi, and be the light. Peace and blessings, Queen.
So y'all, he takes out the whole entire clan. He
Yeah.
gets hit once, and it was that Quentin Tarantino movie blood that's just so funniest thing ever, y'all. He makes this man give him his cigarettes because his nerves were so bad he wasn't able to roll his cigarette. So he makes this man give him his cigarette, and we get the montage where we know that he's getting weak
Yeah.
and he's ready to cross over. And this is where he sees the love of his life and he sees his baby. And she tells him if he puts the cigarette down, she won't smoke to get on the baby, which is interesting. Smoke was smoking.
Yep.
But also, y'all, they use tobacco as a reference multiple times between him and Annie. And by him not being spiritually inclined with Annie, he didn't understand that when she was making his gree bag and she was fixing this potion for him and she was pouring libations, when he lit that tobacco and he blew that pipe and that smoke went out, tobacco is actually an offering to the spirit realm for justice, atonement, and peace. So he didn't even know he was taking part in the ritual when he was blowing smoke. So when he passed over, that was also a form of ashe when he was blowing that tobacco from that cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And then here is my awkward, goofy ass laughing again. Because here it is. This was a very tender moment when he's passing away. And then the Grand Dragon is talking to him like, hey, look, I got money. And he like, oh, so you ain't gonna let me die in peace? Y'all, he picked that assault rifle up and gave that man the business and
He lit
then
him
died
up.
in peace.
He lit him up. It reminded me. The only other time I laughed awkwardly is when the horse dies in Gone with the Wind at the end, where the horse done brought her from, and like that horse had been all across America. She was trying to figure her life out, and it got to that last little. But stuff like that is just funny to me. I don't know,
Listen,
like.
y'all, I laughed loud. It was hilarious. I didn't mean to laugh that loud, but he literally looked annoyed. He oh, now
He
you done
like,
had me,
hold
baby.
on, let
Now,
me. Yeah, yeah,
like he literally had to take the man out so that he could cross over in peace. I said, "What?"
yeah. Was like, sir, you're
so,
doing the most.
so we see Church Boy, y'all, and he escapes. He takes the car, y'all. He keeps his promise to his dad that he
He's
will
the
make it to church on
only
time.
one. He's the only
The
one.
only one. He got he looked like a gremlin claw across his face. His
It
outfit is
was giving
all of
predator.
he
It
got
was giving
everybody
predator.
blood on him, but he made it to church, y'all. He made it to church. That was the important part. The damn guitar is gone. All he got is the handle. Ain't no more guitar. He's been told several times to just drop the guitar. He won't drop it, y'all. This is all that's left of the guitar. This is what he carrying around. It's like three strings left, and he so he carries this piece of the guitar back in the church. But the symbolism with the guitar is him holding on to that contract at the crossroad. His father is in the church telling him to drop the guitar because he knows the guitar is attached to the devil.
Yeah.
He thought he defeated the devil because Remick had perished. But the actual contract for him to sell his soul was to accept the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So he leaves the church and we see him go back to the crossroads. Remember, the crossroads is very important. When he goes back to the crossroad, the contract where he sold his soul was complete. The next
Yeah.
time we see him, he is a world renowned, notable blues singer and guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's older. He still has this scar across his face.
Mm-hmm.
And we get Stack and what's her name? Mary. They come to the new cornbread. Okay, whoever the security guard is, the new cornbread. The bar is supposed to be closed. They
Mary
give
out here
him a
looking
few hundred
like,
dollars to come
don't
in.
walk away, boy. My love won't
She did
hurt
look like she was a member of
you.
Gates,
Like,
y'all. She did. So it's 1992, right? And remember, the rules are still the same. You have to invite them in. So the bouncer comes. He said, hey, we got them out here. I told them we were closed, but they wanted to pay an extra couple hundred to come in. So Preacher Boy tells them it's okay to let them in.
what you say? It don't make
Y'all,
me no never mind, or something like that.
yeah.
Something like that. He said,
So,
yeah.
so the new cornbread lets them in. They didn't bite the new cornbread, thank God. This is where we laugh all over again, y'all. Why did he have on a bootleg Coogee sweater, y'all? He had on a bougie. They
Not to
had
be
this man with a
also
bougie on.
known as a Fuji.
Yes, he had on a
Not to be
Fujiki.
confused with the group.
So we're sitting here looking at the sweater. Both of us being from Detroit, like, that ain't no damn Coogee. That ain't no real Coogee. That show ain't no Coogee Australia. It can't be, right? So,
That wasn't it. That wasn't it.
so
That wasn't it.
both of them had on fake clothes, y'all.
But wait, what you call them? You said they was the 92 version
Yes,
of
they
it.
was
Of
an Instagram couple. They was faking it till you make it, y'all. All they stuff they had on was fake as hell.
And he had the 4-finger ring with his name on
Yes,
it.
yeah.
They love for Michael B. Jordan to dress up like somebody from 1992. That's their whole, because that's
No,
what he looked like in
when you
Wakanda.
said
A
he
modern
would be
version
a
of somebody
dope
from
boy, I damn
1992.
near slid out the seat. I
When I
said,
said what?
I said you said he would be a dope boy. But here's the thing. You ain't even good at being a dope boy because you got on a fake bougie sweater. I don't know dope boys that have fake bougie sweaters. All the people that I went to school with that may have possibly worked as pharmaceutical reps had
Real
real
coogies.
sweaters. And I used
Real
to borrow
coogies.
them sweaters. And then they told me they didn't want them back because I put titty prints in the sweaters. So
You're not mad. He was fine. I'm not mad at that. But also, you're right. It's like, yo, but now I gotta give it back. And now it's like doing this.
yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. But I ended up with 10 different sweaters because they said I put titty prints in their sweaters. So it became a hustle after a while.
Come on, collection.
It was. It was a very nice arrangement. So we sitting here laughing at them with they swap meet outfits on, y'all. And they're
It was
talking, and
wild.
Preacher Boy is saying that until the sun went down, that was the best day of his life. And he asked him if he felt the same, and he agreed with him.
He
And
said,
in
you
my
know, yeah.
head, what it felt like was, yeah, yeah, okay, baby, I love you long time. Like he told him what he wanted to hear. Because remember, he's like a used car salesman. He'll tell you anything that makes it easier for him to get what he wants.
Yeah.
What he ended up wanting was to get him to agree to allow him to bite him so that he can cross him over because he promised his brother that he wouldn't touch the preacher boy. So he
Yep.
wanted preacher boy to accept the agreement so that he could become one of them. But here's the funny thing. Preacher boy said, "Nah, I think I'd been here long enough," but he had already accepted the agreement at the crossroads, which means his soul wasn't his to give. He didn't have anything to give him because he had no soul to hand over to anybody. He already gave it to the devil when he took that, agreement on the crossroads and drove to Chicago.
Yep.
So how could you give
He
something
was
to
like, I'm
somebody that
just
you
ready to be
can't give?
done. Like, whatever is going to be on the other end, I'm just done. So,
Yeah,
we good.
because he
We good.
already knew. Like I already gave my soul up. So
Well,
that's
I
pretty
mean,
much.
it was going to play out either way. I guess maybe he was trying to, yeah, you're right. That's very interesting. That's an interesting point.
I mean, even if he let him bite him, he had no soul anyway. So it's like, yeah, your body is going to lay down and rest, but your soul won't because you already gave your soul over to the devil.
How dare you refute me, smitey, smiter.
You will not sit here and argue with the light in the car. You are hilarious. You want me to go cut the porch light off?
The way, but look, my eyes is like, as soon as the light went out, it was like, I could go to bed right
But you
now.
better watch for Remick. When the lights go out, he show up.
Baby, not around these purse. Not the
Woo!
level of hooju this is. Like, nah.
But overall, we did enjoy the movie.
It was great.
It felt like it was, to me, it felt spiritually light when it came to certain things. But I get it. They didn't want to boggle people down because spirituality is heavy. So they
Yeah,
gave everybody like a table of contents crash course.
it was intro to soul siphoning 101.
Yes. And either way it went, it was destiny swapping.
Yeah, that too.
It was selling your soul,
Yep,
and it all depended on you. You had to accept it.
yep. Because at any point that you say cancel or revoke, it's gone.
It's done.
It's
Yes.
done. I mean, you may have to do a little bit of extra legwork because we humans, but in general, it's
The most interesting part is when Preacher Boy went to pray and Remick started praying with him. I said, doggone it, this is deep. The devil, like, yes, I know that scripture. That's
well,
what it said. He said, but they took me.
one of the really interesting things is like how they mixed it.
Yes.
How it was like, so like Church Boy had this performative nature where he was doing this thing and then all these ancestral energies were kind of like performing with him. And
Right.
then when he started quoting the scripture, it was like how they blended these voices to
Yes.
sound very like off. It's like
But
that
that's
double
the weird thing.
voice.
It was like
It's
he
that
turned off.
dissonance.
What's that Peter Popoff, y'all? He turned into Peter Popoff. He started baptizing them, and it's like, what type of weird dynamic is this where he keep turning into a mega pastor? But that was forecasting because if you think about it, he's showing how they siphon people through religion and the church.
Oh yeah, facts.
So
I
if you
just think
think about when he said they took him like that, was
yeah,
the original vampire that bit him a pastor?
that's possible.
Because every time he went into that mode, he started to become like what you call it, like a snake oil salesman, but the pastor edition.
That's real. That's real. Yeah.
You
Just
said
everything. It was
don't
like
diss
that
me.
tension and that dissonance. That
Yeah,
tension and that dissonance.
it was very interesting how when it came down to it, the hoodoo lady and preacher boy's father were the two that had the strongest faith.
Yeah.
They were the only two that recognized the energy of the devil. The father foreshadowed and told his son that if you go, the devil will come. He will meet you there. The only one that knew how to deal with the devil when he came was the woman that everybody was afraid
Annie.
of, Annie, the
Annie.
hoodoo lady. So here it is. You got the spiritual lady who works from the right hand. She's not in church, but she's benevolent. And then you have the pastor who, rejects all sin and it can flee. And these two were the pillar of the community, which is the truth down there in Mississippi and Louisiana. It's literally, over here on the spiritual side with the hoodoo and the
Mm-hmm.
voodoo and the church,
Mm-hmm.
and they coincide just like this.
They
And
run
when
parallel
you
to
get
each
down
other.
in certain areas, it literally can be used simultaneously. So
Yeah,
you
they
have to
run
know the
parallel.
difference because some people use both at the same time,
Yeah,
and it's a
very
way
much
of
so.
life.
But I think it's like that 3D versus 5D, like whatever. I
Yeah,
feel like we've compartmentalized the idea that like our spiritual life is super separate from us, which is why music is so crazy to me because it's like music is one of those gifts where it's like you have to be spiritually grounded for it to work. Like you can't really,
and for
but
you
like
not to get
people,
lost.
but people really don't jam out with the idea that like the 3D and the 5D are happening simultaneously. It's not that people don't know it or feel it. It's just like people don't invest time and energy into that kind of living most of the
Or
time.
they don't believe in what they can't see, and unless you are very very tapped in, you can't see what's in the 5D.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It was, Terry. It was the color coding dynamic in the movie, like how it was. Yeah. Even how that alludes to like 3D world things right now with like how um a lot of hip hop artists are really trying to
I mean,
band
it was
gangs
all throughout.
together.
It was
They're
blood
trying to bring
Congress,
gangs.
it was
Gangs
Democrats and
yeah.
Republicans, it was light and dark. They
That's
showed
usually happening
every
right now.
duality you can think of.
Yeah. Yep. That's real. That's
No
real.
captain, they won't pull me over for that. But yeah, they I like the way that he played with the ideas of duality
Hmm.
because he showed you everything is just not clear cut. It's not just black and white. There's gray areas. And you got Stack and you got Remick, who that was what they did best. They played in the gray areas.
Life is full of gray, man, for sure.
Yeah, so they would get in that gray area and they would use it to find out what they need to find out about you and then use it against you. Now, Remick did
Mhm.
something very, very interesting. And I haven't seen anybody point this out, but maybe it's
Mhm.
because what it is that I do.
Mhm.
Y'all know that I'm spiritually inclined. So I caught this right away. And I
Mhm.
told you that as soon as he did it.
Mhm.
When cousin Karen took her ass outside and he's
Mhm.
talking to her and she's trying to
Mhm.
get to the money. He knows what she wants, but he's playing with her to get what he wants
Yeah.
because his job is to get in there to get to the anointed. So he was going
Mhm.
to use any type of way possible to get to church boy. So
Mm,
he presents, he has one of the others present the money. They give her
mm,
those gold coins. Remember, I told y'all the gold coins represents the payment to the fairy. Now she don't
mm,
know this. She don't know she's taking this payment as a down payment to cross over.
mm.
And he starts cold reading her, y'all. He starts talking to her. It was like, this money ain't gonna help you with what you got going on, what you need. And
Yeah.
she sits there, she thinks about it, and then she starts to tell him, because mind you, he don't know. He's not tapped in that way.
He firstly said, "I
But
can
it's
tell you're sad.
manipulative.
I can tell you're sad."
Yes.
Yeah.
And he got her to tell on herself. And as she gets to saying stuff, he elaborates off of what she's saying, which is
Yeah.
cold reading. So
Yeah.
if any of y'all in here have ever got a reading from me, you already know I never let you tell me stuff. Like I asked you, what would you like me to tap into? But I don't let you tell me anything because I don't want you to not be sure about the messages because people cold read that way. So that way, if you don't tell me anything, you have no way of, being confused
I ain't
if
gotta
I'm
worry
telling
about
you the truth
it.
because you didn't tell me nothing. He
Yeah.
made her tell on herself and then flipped it on her, and she felt like he was intuitive. He wasn't. He was manipulative.
Yeah, nah. And that's real. That's a distinct difference. And it's like, but that's also like having receipts and really paying attention. A lot of times when we talk to people, we on autopilot. And especially if somebody opens up and or we feel open to somebody, then it can be like diarrhea of the damn mouth. Like, yo,
Right.
bro, nah.
Justice for us said, you read me down to the bones, baby. And I said, not a word. I was too speechless to even speak. But that's why I don't let y'all tell me nothing. Because if it's real, I'm going to be able to tell you stuff without you saying anything. And that's
It'll
what
be what
somebody
it's
that's
gonna
really
be.
intuitive can do.
It is gonna be what it's gonna be.
So,
Yeah.
when I saw what he was doing, I said, oh, he's cold reading her. And so, what cold readers do is that they pay attention to your mannerisms, they pay
Mm.
attention to your body language and your eye contact, and they read the vibe around you and they pull from it. And that's exactly what he did. And she fell for it, told him her mother died, ran down all her business. He flipped it on her. And y'all, this when he get to slobbing like the Saint Bernard, and she saw the slob, like, oh hell no. She gets up to go run her happy ass back in the damn juke joint, and this is when we find out that white men can jump. So, so she hits the water,
Sweetest.
y'all, and he leaps from his seat, pounces on her, boom.
That's crazy. Let me tell you something. 7 Mile got a whole lot of. Oh, sorry.
A whole lot of yes,
Yeah.
yes, all the
Pollen,
time, all the time.
pollen, pollen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My ass. Let me stop.
And listen, I grew up over here, so it's calm now as far as I'm concerned. That's when they get
Oh,
real Coogee sweaters. That's how I know them.
I ain't even tripping off that. It's just like, yo, your turn up game is wild
Y'all,
for it
when
to
y'all
be
look
a
at the
street.
movie again, watch that damn sweater. I was
Check it
so
out.
upset. Like, where he get this Bill Cosby ass sweater from? This is not a damn Coogee.
A Cosby sweater. A
This damn
Cosby sweater.
Burlington Coat Factory sweater. Like people don't. If you are from the Coogee era, not when Fubu bought Coogee, but like Coogee Australia, because it was another name and then it became Coogee Australia. If you were from that era, it's a huge difference.
Burlington Coat
You said,
Factory.
why was that
You're
my
more than
first
great
thought too?
coats.
Listen, I was upset. I said, I know they lied. This
It
man
was
is
so
too big to
it
have this
was
fake ass sweater.
it was so rude, but it had to be intentional. Cause like if you kind of notice,
Everything he did was intentional.
it was a little off. Like his haircut was slightly off. His ring was slightly off. The sweater
But
was
that was
slightly
that
off.
fake it till you
She
make it.
had that fake A-ball situation. It was slightly off. The with
Yep.
the it was
They were the
slightly.
they were personified fake it till you make it. So what that showed me was they could they could assimilate, but they could not create. And that's what people who siphon do. And because they're vampires, they could not do anything original because they have to siphon to survive,
Yeah.
which is what these artists do nowadays. Because how many of them make real music, new music? They take all these old samples and then ruin them. So they were the embodiment of that. I literally looked at it, was like, oh, this is an Instagram couple.
That's exactly how you called it, and you was not wrong.
Like both of them fake it till you make it. They came in there flashing all that. How you giving people hundreds of dollars and got on a fake Coogee? I'm upset. I need to speak to the manager, Ryan Coogler.
Pick one. Pick
And that
one.
sweater upset my soul. And then, I mean, she had on a cute little. I went down the rainbow and caught it on the low outfit. It could have went over cute, but no,
It
that
was definitely
sweater and
rainbow
that
certified.
haircut was egregious.
And zero judgment to rainbow, because like when you need a quick little boot bop,
I mean, you know how to dress. You know how to dress.
yeah, like ain't
But
nobody.
that sweater was unforgivable. I'm still upset.
It's unforgivable.
But y'all, that's pretty much what we pulled out of the movie.
I'm
And I've been telling y'all I was gonna give you this review. Thank you
so
so much, Monica.
excited. I could be here.
Thank you so much,
Turn up of a day,
y'all.
man. Turn up of a day.
Monica has a hell of an impressive catalog.
Check me out. Actually,
Y'all
it's crazy. Yesterday, my cousin who lives in Houston hit me with a picture, and I don't have her new number saved, so I was confused. I was like, "Who is this?" But it was like a picture of like Swank, and it was like me and Dwelle, and she was like, "I started listening to the radio." I was like, "Yo, there go my cousin," and it was so wild. I was like, "Oh, that's random," but like, it
that was a while ago
was
too.
pretty
That was an old
cool.
picture.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I love y'all. Y'all have been cool. I have enjoyed, and listen, Angel is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Okay,
Thank you.
Angel is out here the truth, like for real. This the look. Today has been very revelatory, eye opening, all good things. Today started with a performance for me.
Listen,
so,
listen.
the,
I always tell y'all get your popcorn. I got my popcorn. But
listen.
yeah, I did enjoy, I did enjoy the movie, but
Mhm.
I think because we are people that are, deeply spiritually inclined, for us it felt lightweight. It did. For us it felt lightweight. I was expecting to, I needed to take notes and do this, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, a lot of people watched it 2 and 3 times. I ain't going back. I learned enough the first time. You say LOL, that's a big bag. Listen, we've been chewing all day, y'all. We stopped at what's the restaurant called La Fonda. I'm upset that nobody in there knew who La Fonda was. I'm like, nobody watched Napoleon Dynamite. Y'all don't know La Fonda? It can't just be me. Like LaFonda was from Detroit, and she went out there with Napoleon Dynamite brother, and he thought he was gangster. She brought him back on Greyhound to Detroit. How y'all got a restaurant in Detroit named LaFonda, and y'all don't know who LaFonda is? Y'all, and it gets
Hair
even funnier.
slave.
LaFonda sells uh, Spanish food.
Hair slave. I'm sorry. Hair slave, and she gave that man her whole life. He was in love. He came back wearing a do rag.
Yes, he did. Gas station
Like
rag. He was ready. He was ready. He was like, I'm going to war. I'm going to battle. I love me some LaFonda. I'm gonna take this long bus ride to Detroit, and this gonna be my new life. But see, y'all, listen. We talked about this, right? So if LaFonda was a girl from Detroit, we both agree she would be an East Side chick, and we were proud of her because
ah,
she ain't scam them or nothing.
she was good to him.
She really did care about him.
Nails laid, hair laid, skin. She was like whole. She was giving diamond piece,
Yes,
and he was just like he was like, "Yep, I'm gonna ride into the sunset with my baby."
And he did on that hot ass
with my
Greyhound.
6'4" baby because she was so much taller than him.
She was a big Shirley. She
She
was.
was a big shirt. She was a big Shirley. She was so much taller than him.
She was. But he was gonna climb that tree.
He said challenge. That's what I'm saying. People got to stop getting scared of stuff that they don't understand. Look, ask enough questions and move forward.
Oh man. I mean, did you want to leave them with something before we go ahead and log off, like a
What should
sample
I
or
leave them
something?
with? Oh man,
I mean,
brain,
it's up
brain,
to you now. It's up to
brain
you.
fried. I could just do like a simple thing, just because I can think about it. I sing the alphabet. That's like the simple thing I always like to do.
Okay, come on now. Come
Let me
on,
see.
Sesame Street us down.
Let me see. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that was jazzy and cute.
That's how I
Listen,
do
y'all.
it.
Listen. She playing in y'all face because she on 2% right now. Go over there to her channel so y'all can hear her sing. But
Let me
that
tell you
that was
something.
great. Go see what she can do, y'all. This is somebody that can hit a note and knock you out your seat in the back of the bar.
Well, number one is late. I'm gonna tell you, real talk is latency. My eyes is like right here.
No, we've been up all day. I'm
And
just
then it's
playing
like
with
the
you.
latency on the thing,
I'm
right?
playing with you. We've been
And I'm
out in
like,
the
I'm
street
gonna turn it up, but
all
like,
day. She had me out with this pillow. Me and this pillow. I've been propped up, y'all, all day on this pillow since like what 9 something this morning.
this pillow work has been
This
crazy,
pillow has been on tour, y'all.
man.
I don't even know where my bucket hat. I have my bucket hat and
Listen.
this pillow. My Paddington Bear hat from the dispensary, because I was repping the dispensary with my hat. But we had a great time. Amp Day was
We
wonderful.
did. We
It
did.
started to get hot as the devil's balls, but
It
it was
was
it was a
magical.
wonderful
That's
event.
what's got me so tapped out is I've been standing in the sun all
Yeah.
day.
It
All
felt
day.
like we were picking cotton before we went to go see people picking cotton and
That
turning into
part.
vampires. It
That
really
part.
did.
Somebody said today, "Oh, you look like you sunburned." I'm like, "No, I just look like I'm outside. Like it's fine. I just haven't been outside all year. It's okay. I'm
So
fine."
if y'all follow me on IG, you
Yo,
can
thank
see
y'all
a
for that.
couple of
Thank y'all for
pictures
listening
and
too.
some stuff from Amp Day. Amp Fiddler is now federally recognized by Congress. Okay, y'all don't understand how dope that is. That I know
Amazing.
somebody like knew them in real life, and they're federally recognized by Congress
It's
as
incredible.
being a national jewel for
I
their
just think
talent.
it was a great investment in watching his legacy grow. And I was just grateful to be there and be able to witness it. And, while we talk about like this duality, like Amp still is and was in the 3D this super loving individual. I never didn't feel anything except love,
Yeah, he's very
in
down to
his
earth.
presence. Super grounded, like the whole thing. So it's really, really dope to just watch everybody come together. And the talismans was all over the place. The
Oh yeah.
butterflies was there, and then
Now,
the energy was there, and then the people's words was there. It was
now
it
let's
was
let's bring this full circle, y'all.
it was a vibe.
So Amp Fiddler is the mentor to my mentor, Jay Dilla. Amp Fiddler is the one that brought Dilla in and got him his first job with Q-Tip. Dilla ended up becoming the king of beats and one of the most prolifically known producers in the golden era of hip hop. He was one of my mentors. So it was just to see that moment, like there wouldn't have been a Dilla if there wasn't, an Amp Fiddler, because Amp Fiddler walked him into the door And he was so kind about it. He never threw it out there, put it in anybody's face. It was just like, I'm just happy to help. And that was his energy. And Dilla, in his own way, was very similar to that. So it was
Always.
a
What a
wonderful
blessing
day,
today
y'all.
has
We gonna
been.
get off of here so Monica don't have to put toothpicks in her eyelids to get home. But y'all follow her over on her page, and we're gonna be working on something where I can bring Monica back, y'all. So be prepared for her to come back because we're gonna do something very innovative where you see both sides of me like you're seeing today, where I will use my tarot gift and we're going to bring you more up into who Monica is as an artist. And it's like we're going to do a intimate like lyricist lounge and with a tarot twist. Justice, I tagged her in the title of this video. It's at MB the Light. So it also, if you go and follow over on my IG page, she's tagged in my footage and pictures from today as well. So you can click on that and follow her there. Our Lord didn't threw you out. Okay, y'all. Well, I take that as the universe saying, y'all go ahead and go to sleep. So I'm gonna just go ahead and end this. And I will be seeing y'all again this weekend because we got a lot of things to talk about, y'all. I love y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us and see y'all soon. There it is right there at MB the Light. Everybody, if you can see that down in the chat, please follow Monica Blair at MB the Light. And when I tell you she's an amazing artist, she's a dope rapper, she's an amazing singer. And when I say rapper, she's like if you're into like the golden era of hip hop type music, like that real lyricist type music, she's your girl. So
y'all, my phone gave up on me. I didn't want to leave y'all just
get your ass in here. Before you let one of them flies or one of them damn hood rats in.
I'm tapped, yo. I feel like such a crazy lady.
Well, I'm about to end the show.
I feel like a crazy lady. Y'all been so cool tonight.
Shit. Y'all, we've been up too long because now we're getting goofy. So we're going to go ahead.
It's over.
Because Lord have mercy. Ain't no telling what we're going to sing next.
Might start
making songs off of popcorn.
Come on.
Listen.
Come on.
Wait a minute. Before we get out of here, we're going to give you just a pinch of, where the interview. Hold on.
Okay.
Where the interview is going to go when she comes back. So remember I told y'all I used to manage an artist by the name of Soup, better known as Super MC. And Soup had this issue where he would give us masculine names, right? So, my management stage name is Adrian Manny. Everybody called me Manny. Everybody thought Manny was this foreign dude or I was some Suge Knight dude. Nobody ever expected me to show up. They would hear stories like, I was smoking cigars and drinking scotch with Manny, and they just knew somebody Colombian was walking in, right? But he named her Money B. Like she from Paid in Full.
He was like, Money B. I'll be like, okay.
I'm like, why we get all these drug dealer names? Thank you, Justice Flash. You was on it.
Yes. Thanks.
Like why you get girls all the drug dealer names, y'all? Like everybody knew who she was because she's an artist. I work behind the scenes. I walk in, they like, what, you his assistant? You his girlfriend? I'm like, I'm him. Y'all, do you know what it feel like to sit at the bar and hear people tell stories about you thinking they talking about a man and you listening to them and they don't know you sitting there?
That's always
weird. Used to be hilarious.
That's always weird.
But we go ahead and end it here. And y'all be prepared for us to bring Monica back on and we're going to do, like I said, a lyricist lounge where I will do a tarot read on her upcoming project,
Yeah.
and you guys are going to get a behind the scenes, listen
Yeah.
to her project
Yeah.
as a part of the launch.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff, guys. It's gonna be good.
it's
I'm
gonna be
excited.
real nice, and then y'all can finally hear her sing. Okay.
Yeah, man. Sitting down singing ain't the same as standing up top of the day type singing. It's two different things. It's two
You know
different
what?
things.
You know what? I should post one of her old videos. That the one from what's the bar? The Willie's Show Bar. I should post one of them videos from Willie's Show Bar so y'all can hear her sing for real. Cause she done Mary Had a Little Lamb and ABC y'all ass to sleep. And it sounds good.
It's so nice.
It sounds good because she does have that jazzy undertone. But y'all, when she sings, that the note come out so powerful, you think somebody done hit your ass. So I want y'all to get the full experience, but it ain't gonna happen today because we ain't got it.
Just go to my page. Just check it out. I'm MB the Light everywhere. Just tap it in, plug it in, find where you need to find it. I'm everywhere as MB the Light. Just do that.
That part.
Just do that.
That part. And with
In
that,
the meantime.
With that being said, y'all, we so tired, we goofy. So it's time for us to go. It's time for us to go, okay? Because it's time for us to try to find out how we gonna fall asleep so that we don't end up again because we kind of like, you're not even so tired, you wired. We don't want to get wired. So let's let Monica get home safe and sing the ABCs on the way home. I stay on the phone with you.
Let's see how many times you have to sing it before you get to where I gotta go. Before you get to the east side. That's funny.
Listen, we could do vocal exercises all the way to the Okay, not that one. That's Kermit the Frog. We ain't gonna do that one. We ain't gonna do that one. Y'all, let y'all go because we about to be on some real silly shit. It's happening already. Until next time, y'all. We love y'all. Be blessed. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much for joining us tonight so that we can break down centers from the esoteric side and the music side and show you how music is esoteric. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, the spirituality, when it was all said and done, that was more prevalent throughout the whole movie was actually the music.
Yeah, I would agree.
So if you're not careful, the music can have you on the right or on the left hand. And he did have a choice to be a gospel singer and guitar player, but he turned it down. Mm-hmm. So until next time, y'all. Mm-hmm. Peace. Bye-bye.